What is the opposite of big?
The opposite of big is small.
What is the opposite of hot?
The opposite of hot is cold.
What is the opposite of happy?
The opposite of happy is sad.
What is the opposite of up?
The opposite of up is down.
What is the opposite of night?
The opposite of night is day.
What is the opposite of fast?
The opposite of fast is slow.
What is the opposite of good?
The opposite of good is bad.
What is the opposite of new?
The opposite of new is old.
What is the opposite of left?
The opposite of left is right.
What is the opposite of dark?
The opposite of dark is light.
What is the opposite of dry?
The opposite of dry is wet.
What is the opposite of full?
The opposite of full is empty.
What is the opposite of near?
The opposite of near is far.
What is the opposite of strong?
The opposite of strong is weak.
What is the opposite of young?
The opposite of young is old.
What is the opposite of early?
The opposite of early is late.
What is the opposite of wide?
The opposite of wide is narrow.
What is the opposite of deep?
The opposite of deep is shallow.
What is the opposite of heavy?
The opposite of heavy is light.
What is the opposite of loud?
The opposite of loud is quiet.
What is the opposite of open?
The opposite of open is closed.
What is the opposite of begin?
The opposite of begin is end.
What is the opposite of arrive?
The opposite of arrive is depart.
What is the opposite of front?
The opposite of front is back.
What is the opposite of inside?
The opposite of inside is outside.
What is the opposite of top?
The opposite of top is bottom.
What is the opposite of under?
The opposite of under is over.
What is the opposite of rise?
The opposite of rise is fall.
What is the opposite of enter?
The opposite of enter is exit.
What is the opposite of take?
The opposite of take is give.
What is the opposite of start?
The opposite of start is stop.
What is the opposite of buy?
The opposite of buy is sell.
What is the opposite of catch?
The opposite of catch is throw.
What is the opposite of remember?
The opposite of remember is forget.